What's cracking, y'all? You are now watching Boo TV. Appreciate you for stopping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and let's get into the topic for today. I'll be the first to tell you, I was never a really big Chris Paul fan. I always thought earlier in Chris Paul's career that people were giving him too much praise way too early as far as where he was ranking in all-time point guards. I really felt like people were leapfrogging him ahead of other greats, and I just thought it was way too early. Let's see what this guy can do. Let's see if he can win championships. Because right now, he, as far as, winning championships, nothing has really been cultivated yet. And I'll say this, over the last couple years, now I always respected Chris Paul and I respected his game. But I think over the last couple years, my appreciation for Chris Paul has grown. And a lot of that has to do with how he has been able to still go out on the court even later in his career as he's older in age with mileage and, fighting through injuries over his career, especially that hamstring. And that's one of the reasons for his flame out in the playoffs. There's been times where, Chris Paul failed to get it done or could have played better in the playoffs or failed to lead a team. And then there were years he just kept getting injured at the worst times possible. It is what it is. But what Chris Paul has shown me, still going out there with the ultimate grit, with the ultimate vigor, with all the tenacity in the world, still going out there being a leader, giving it all he has on both ends of the floor still, despite being up there in age, where I see these younger cats ain't even putting forth the defensive effort that Chris Paul was doing sometimes later in his career. It says a lot, especially in that playoff run they had where they made the finals. Round one against the Lakers, wasn't he playing with like one arm at some point? Basically, he had some type of stinger in his shoulder. Went out there with one arm, not faking injuries, not making excuses or making things up. Actually going out there and giving it all he has with one damn arm. Playing through injury, sucking up the pain, legit injuries. I tip my hat off to CP3 at his age, with his mileage, that deep into his career. And then in the finals, and then he took a lot of criticism in the finals, and I felt like that was completely unwarranted. Chris Paul had done so much. Chris Paul exceeded expectations in that playoff run. It was on Devin Booker, who people were calling the next Kobe Bryant, the little black mamba or whatever they were calling him. That was on him to lead the team. He's the young guy. He's the quote-unquote all-star, some people call superstar. That's him. He's supposed to impact the game. He's supposed to lead them to the chip. Now, Chris Paul is definitely the primary leader, but I'm talking about performance-wise, which we're doing on the court. Lead us by example. If you ain't got the other leadership intangibles, but Devin Booker didn't do it. He didn't step up to the plate. That ain't on Chris Paul. That finals loss is not on Chris Paul. And I didn't even have the Phoenix Suns winning, period. I felt like if Kawhi Leonard was healthy, they weren't even going to beat the Clippers. With just Paul George and role players, that series was close. But anyway, that's a subject for another day. So, salute to Chris Paul. But the reason of this video is me basically saying, I was just sitting here thinking, I was like, you know what? I think players like Chris Paul, I was going to say last of a dying breed, but no, they're actually extinct. A small stature point guard, somebody, 6'5", 6'4", and under. Once you start getting into probably like 6'5" and under. 6'5", you could probably pass as a point guard. You could probably pass as a shooting guard. Kobe Bryant was 6'6". So 6'5" under, whatever. 6'4", 6'5". A small stature point guard that is elite on both ends of the floor on a consistent basis. Whether offensively they are primarily a scorer, whether offensively they are primarily a playmaker, or a very good to great scorer and very good to great playmaker passer combination, either will do, and elite on the defensive side of the basketball floor. Chris Paul was good to great any given night on offense, whether it's scoring or passing or playmaking. Actually, from the passing and playmaking perspective, he was always great. From scoring, he was good to great any given night. And the combination of both, I would say he was pretty much a great offensive player overall, taking both into consideration, and elite defensively. I think Chris Paul was the last of a dying breed. Now, obviously, he's still an active player, right? So his reputation is still withstanding. But the fact of the matter is, Chris Paul is now pretty much in his twilight years. And while still solid, in his twilight years, he's definitely out of his prime now. So he's no longer that elite on both ends of the floor on a night in, night out basis. So based on that, even though he's still active, that player is now extinct, and Chris Paul was the last one. And I don't know when we will ever see another one in the future, just considering the atmosphere and the climate of the NBA today, where you really don't find players, especially smaller players, that want to be that great defensively to accompany their offensive skill set. Defense isn't always, in some ways it can be a skill. There are some unique defensive skills, but a lot of defense is effort, man. Wanting to get at it. Wanting to expend the same amount of energy you spend on the other side of the floor. Team defense, individual defense, whatever. And it's not really, players don't prioritize that much in the NBA these days. And I started thinking, I was like, okay, well, let me go down the list of, elite point guards in the NBA today, that are smaller, and maybe I'm just, overlooking somebody. I started going down the list. Damian Lillard, hell no, that guy's never played defense. Steph Curry, listen, sometimes he tries hard, but fact of the matter is, he just ain't it. He's a liability. Not Steph Curry. I don't know Ja Morant's height. He's probably somewhere around 6'5", 6'4", but no. Kyrie Irving, no. Trae Young, no. De'Aaron Fox, no. Jalen Brunson, no. Tyrese Maxey, no. Michael Brogdon, he could have been something like that, but no. No. I think CP3 was the last guy built like that. Cut from that kind of cloth. But not no more. And then I was like, well, who's making these all-NBA defensive teams? Surely I'm missing somebody to carry this torch. Who's making these all-defensive teams as a small point guard? And I'm looking, 2022-2023 NBA season, Alex Caruso, no. NBA defensive second team that same year, Derek White, no. 2021-2022 season, Marcus Smart, no. And then they didn't even have a small point guard on the second team. And then I'm going down the list, down the years. All right, got another Marcus Smart appearance. Patrick Beverly, Eric Bledsoe, no. But, I mean, is Eric Bledsoe even in the league anymore? I don't even know. But you get where I'm getting at. That breed of player no longer exists, man. And I really don't know. I really don't know. It's sad to see, man. It's sad to see because a lot of times when people evaluate players these days, they really don't consider defense that much anymore. I mean, that is part of the game. That is part of the floor. Your defensive abilities Um, can play a major part in the outcome of games and how possessions end up concluding. You know, you can cause, by being an absolute liability on defense, you can cause problems with matchups and lineups and the flow of game. You can make it a lot harder on your coach. You really making your coach work for his dollars. Getting people in and out, getting you in when they need you, getting you out when they don't need that type of thing. You know what I mean? So I just want to salute Chris Paul, man, because Jason Kidd is my favorite player of all. Or Jason Kidd is my favorite point guard of all time. And I'm not really here to compare, to really break down in detail Jason Kidd to CP3. But I think just looking at it on the surface, I see some similarities in them as far as they being able to produce offense. However, they produce offense at a high level on a night in, night out basis, and be that same guy on the defensive end on a night in, night out basis. I mean, Chris Paul and Jason Kidd, between NBA first team and NBA second team defensive selections, they both have 9 apiece. 9 apiece. Jason Kidd 5-4, Chris Paul 7-2. And Jason Kidd probably would have had more first team selections, but at the guard positions, he had some stiff competition. I went back and looked just to, remind myself, and it was like Kobe Bryant and Bruce Bowen making a lot of those first NBA all defensive selections for the guards. So yeah, man. Salute Chris Paul, man. Hopefully these young players, these young point guards can see what you still to this day, even deeper into your career, how you still put forth the effort that you do, despite the hurdles with your age and body, that the effort is still there. I hope a lot of these young point guards can see that and be like, well, look what he's doing. Why can't I do that? I should be doing that. I should be doing that at a higher level, given my youth. I should be wanting to grow. I should be wanting to expand my game beyond the offensive side. But these kids don't think like that, man. They don't. And until people start criticizing these guys for that, they're really not going to feel a need to want to add that to their game, unless it's something inside of them. I just don't feel it's there. That seed isn't there to grow, Anyway, shout out to CP Goat number 3, longtime subscriber and supporter here. I'm guessing Chris Paul is his favorite player. Don't know, but shout out to CP Goat number 3. Appreciate you guys for stepping in. Let me know what you think about it. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and I catch you on the next one. We out, baby.